Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for attending what is going to be a very special press conference as we are announcing the launch of the Tony Elumelu Foundation Entrepreneurship Program. So, without further ado, it is my absolute pleasure and honor to introduce and present to you the founder of the Tony Elumelu Foundation, an economist by training, a seasoned banker and investor and philanthropist, and the man who is dedicating himself to empowering African entrepreneurs. May I please present Mr. Tony Elumelu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and welcome to this occasion. It is a deep pleasure and a privilege to welcome you here today as my life story in business comes to full cycle. My name, as you know, is Tony Elumelu. I was born, raised, educated, and I've worked all my life in Africa. I am an entrepreneur and one who has enjoyed a lot of success in my chosen pursuits. You might say that I was made in Africa and that I made it in Africa. And that means so much to me. To be able to make it at home on a continent handicapped by narratives of hopelessness. The fact that entrepreneurs from humble beginnings, like myself, like Ayodeji Adewumi, our German man, who founded it at a very young age when he was a university student, like Monica Musonda, the CEO of Java Food in Zambia, like Stripe Masiwa of Econet in South Africa, and in fact across Africa, does not only speak to the potential for success in our homeland, it gives hope to other budding African entrepreneurs, wherever they may be, that success is indeed possible on our continent. I believe that one of the key reasons why I made it in business is because early in my career in Nigeria, I benefited from the mentorship of one man, Chief Ebitimi Banigo at Allsays Trust Bank. He helped me to develop my strategic thinking and insights and to channel my ideas into concrete actions so that when the opportune moment arrived, at the age of 34, I had the self-belief to gather a small group together to take over and revive a failing bank through innovations in our services. I'd like to thank you and look forward to your questions. Thank you. Let me call on the CEO of the Tony Elumelu Foundation to come and make his remarks. You're welcome.
Good morning, all. It's always incredibly difficult to follow Mr. Elumelu. Normally we speak before him. So it's a pleasure to be with you all here today, and it's an honor to stand here next to Mr. Elumelu as we announce this ambitious and unprecedented philanthropic program to transform entrepreneurship in Africa. 4 years ago, Mr. Elumelu called me and asked me to leave my role with the Rockefeller Foundation in Nairobi and return home to Nigeria. Yes, I too am made in Africa. To return home to Nigeria to work with him to build Africa's benchmark philanthropic institution. He wanted us to build an institution that would execute on his Afro-capitalist vision, a vision that calls for a dynamic African private sector to drive Africa's economic transformation from within. So this is history in the making. I have a PhD in African history, and I know that one day, 20, 30 years from now, it'll be the future students who are studying what I studied will be looking at this moment as one of the moments that changed Africa forever. So thank you for being part of it. I would now like to invite the director of the entrepreneurship program, Parminder Veer. She lives and breathes entrepreneurship, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the mechanics of the program. Thank
you. Over the last 9 months, I've had the privilege and the honor to work with the Foundation's team. I an incredible team. For years, they have laid the strongest, most incredible foundation. Nothing is ever, they planted the seeds on which this particular program can really take off. So basically the program begins with an application, and the application is online. Our portal will open on the 1st of January and will remain open until the 1st of March. So applicants from Pan-Africa, that's English, French, and Portuguese-speaking Africa, will have the opportunity to submit their applications over those 60 days. It's open to all citizens and legal residents of any of the 54 countries that have been mentioned across Africa. So you have to be in Africa in order to take advantage of this program. You cannot be an African diaspora sitting in the UK or anywhere else in the world thinking that you can leverage. You have to come and work and live and breathe in Africa in order for you to be able to stand up and say, I was born in Africa and I was made in Africa. For me, it's an honor and a privilege to make my future contribution greater than my past. Thank you.
Now guys, a lot of the reasoning behind female genital mutilation is that it's apparently supposed to curb people from being promiscuous. Now that reasoning in itself is very flawed, and people don't need to be mutilated because that's what it is, simply because you're trying to educate them on morals. It's a very outdated way of thinking, and we will have no part of it. Guys, we have to go on a quick break now, but when we get back, we'll continue with our special reports, and after that, we'll also talk a little bit more about female genital mutilation, which is our theme for today. Keep it here.